Hello. Hey there. Hello, crafty friends. Welcome to Saturday night at the Makery. If you're new, my name is Robin. Behind the camera and computer is my husband, Bill, and we live and work at Raincross Farms Makery. We're just outside of Lewiston, Idaho. And so we are coming to you with some fun crafts. We like to show you some new techniques, some new ideas. Some things are made with products that you can purchase from my shop. I am an independent designer for Chalk Couture. And some things you can just purchase at Dollar Tree, Walmart, any craft store. So we're kind of a non-respecter of persons or something like that. Hi, Liana. Hi, Patty. Welcome. Let me pull up my live on my phone. Hey, Cheryl. I just talked with Cheryl. She's still not 100%, but she's better. So we're glad to hear that. Okay, that's what I'm wearing. So that's me now. Yes, and animals too. Yep, our little Daisy. Her little knee is I think it's really hurting her. Now we're kicking ourselves for postponing it as long as we did, but we did what we had to do. Anyway, hey, Tallulah Bell, how are you? Are you still frozen? Was it you that lost power, or did I just see pictures of snow at your place? Tallulah Bell says hello to you, Daisy May. She blinked.
About as good as you get out of it.
Yes. Hey, Ken. Ken did not say hello to you guys. He only said hello to the humans.
Excluded you.
He excluded you. Anyway. So, it's Saturday night, isn't it? It's Saturday night, yes. So, lots to do. I guess so. Saturday night's all right. All right. Saturday night's all right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't start with me.
I'm not going to sing it. I'll spare you. I can't guarantee him. Yes, Tallulah Bell says she's still frozen, and yes, you lost power. Yeah, a little ice bag. Yeah, that would work really well, Patty. That would go over really big. We're dreading it when they bring her home, when we bring her home from surgery, if she has to have that cone, because that's going to drive all of us insane.
The cone of shame.
I think they have something now that's more like an inflatable ring, and it's not the lampshade.
We'll have to
I don't
see.
know. We might need to look into that ahead of time. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. Thanks so much for popping in. Okay, so you know what to do. Like or love our page. Follow our page. We've got a bunch of new followers. We're up to 700 and some. Hey, Lisa, welcome. And if you're so inclined, please sprinkle our video to others. Thanks so much. Okay, so yesterday on our live, I don't even remember what craft we did. Oh, we did the Love is in the Air. And we had a question from one of our, oh yes, it's a donut instead of a cone. Looks like a pool noodle. I told you we should have brought the Valentine pool noodles at the Dollar Tree.
These look good in red.
We'll have to get one and just tie a string around it. Hi, Alana, are you feeling better? Tie a string through it and tie it around her neck. And Duke will chew on it, I'm sure. Duke will help. What Daisy isn't able to chew on, I'm sure Duke will. We'd have to put a cone on Duke, too. Anyway, so in our live yesterday, I haven't seen her yet. Hey, Beverly. Christine had asked a question. She's planning a project, but she doesn't have the chalk paste she wants. She only has the ink. So she was asking if you can use ink on our Chalkable Chips. And the answer was, yes, you can use it, but the question is, can you heat set it? And I didn't have a definitive answer for her because I've heat set on wood, but I've never heat set on our Chalkable Chips. This is, let me see if I've got one handy. Okay, so these are our Chalkable Chips. We have them in black and white. They're meant to be reusable, so they've got this chalkboard surface or whiteboard surface on both sides. But they're wood, but they've got this layer of laminate on it. And I just wasn't sure if what the heat would do to that laminate. So she suggested, why don't you, because I told her we didn't know what we were doing today. She suggested, why don't you ink on a chip? There's Christine. Okay, so we're doing this for you. So I've got an idea for Chalkable Chips, whether you do it in paste or whether you do it in ink. Now, the reason she wanted to do it in ink is because they were for children. And you know children, they're slobbering and got sticky hands, and with the paste it is semi-permanent, so just ordinary rubbing, and but you know it's smudge and budge proof, but it's probably not first grader proof. So she thought maybe using ink and permanently setting it might be the answer. So we're going to give it a try, and in the meantime I'm going to show you some cute little Valentine thingies, I don't even know what to call them, Valentines, that you can make. So using our Valentine Minis transfer. So this is awesome. This is our B-size transfer, but it comes with 12 little mini designs, and they're roughly about 3 inches by 3 inches. Not exactly, but that roughly that. And you get 12 different Valentine's designs, and they're just as cute as can be. And so we're going to use some of them on our Chalkable Chips, and we're going to try one in ink and see how it works, and we're going to try some in chalk just because. Sound good? Does that sound good? Oh, you're welcome, Christina. I wanted to know too. Hello, Patty number 2. 2 Patties.
Good night.
Yes, Patty D and Patty B. Okay, and we usually get a couple of Lindas too. Okay, so a couple of options with these chips. They don't come with the hole in it. I don't know if you can see. I've got a hole in it that I punched in with our Power Punch. So you can punch a hole in it, or you can attach a magnet to it. So it depends on what you want to do with it. If you punch a hole in it, you can use both sides and use it as just like a little ornament. I don't know. Some of you do have Valentine's trees, or you could just have it hanging from a shelf or hanging from a lampshade, or I don't know, put it around your neck. Or my sister-in-law would have earrings. Anyway, so hole punch or magnet, depending on how you intend to use it. And we're gonna decorate some up too. So we sell these Chalkable Chips, and again, they are wooden, but they've got a laminated surface that is meant to be reusable. So if you chalked something on it and you messed up, you can take it off. If you want to change it out with the season, you can take it off. Okay? So, but we're trying to not take it off. We're trying that with the heat. So they come in a pack of 12. And like I said, they come in black and white. So I'm going to use the white ones, although black would show up too. Some other options, if you didn't want to use these, Dollar Tree has these little chalkboard tags. What do I have? I do have them in a package. These are called chalkboard tags, and these are maybe 3.5 inches round. So you could use these. You could use the lighter colors on these. So those would be cute. Dollar Tree also has these little heart-shaped wooden cutouts with the chalkboard finish. And they're a little bit smaller, so some of these would fit, but maybe not all of them. So you might kind of have to finagle some of them. But that's an option, Dollar Tree. And then I believe I got these round ones. These are unpainted, but they're just the thin wood, about 3-inch circles. I think there's 6 of them. I'm pretty sure, I think I got these at Michael's, either Michael's or Walmart. But anyway, a couple of options for you. But I like these because they're reusable easily. These, if you messed up on, you're kind of out of luck because they're paper. These, if you messed up on, you could sand it down and repaint it. Okay, but these, you can just clean it off with water. Okay, so do we have any questions, any comments? Are you mesmerized? Hey, Pat, welcome. Okay, so let's do the first one in ink. So since this is Christina's, we're doing this for Christina. Christina gets to pick the design. We have, it's like a heart with roses. Chocolate is my Valentine. Be mine. True love.
Hey, put it down on there.
Okay.
See if we can go in on it.
Okay.
There we go. They can see that
Okay.
better, probably.
So, a heart with roses inside. Chocolate is my Valentine. Be mine with a balloon. True love. An envelope. A hug me with a bear.
Now, I would have sworn that was a pig when you were holding it
Okay,
up.
well, it could be a pig except for that mouth.
Yeah.
That's a bear mouth. Okay, crazy little thing called love. You and me. Love is in the air. The heart-shaped glasses. Sweet with a cupcake and the truck with the hearts. So, Christina, what do you want me to ink? What would you like me to ink? We'll let you pick this one. They're
Okay,
all
what's
cute.
being broadcast isn't finished with what you were showing.
Okay. I know. I'm waiting.
Oh, you have on
waiting.
yours too. I can actually see it on the phone on that camera there. Babe. What are you drinking tonight?
Me, I am drinking coffee.
You got
So
coffee?
we shall see if I can sleep tonight. If not, I might be up with Jackie. Okay, love is in the air. Okay, so she wants love is in the air.
That's so special.
Okay. So now what I think I did, yes, is instead of cutting these all apart and then I'm dealing with 12 little pieces, I just scored the little cut line right here on here, but I didn't cut all the way through the backer sheet. So I can keep it stored on one big page, but I can pull these off individually. And I don't technically need to fuzz because this surface is not going to budge. It's not going to pull anything up, but this is brand new and it's really sticky. And I just don't want it to stick so well that when I pull it off, I stretch the transfer and maybe tweak it or distort it. So I'm just going to fuzz it once or twice. And I'm going to center this on here. Now, if I had a hole at the top, which I think I'm going to put a hole at the top, I'm going to lower this down a little bit so I have room for that. Okay, and I'm going to push this down. So there's no air bubbles. And I'm going to take my ink. And Christine, you get to pick your color too. Couture Coral, which is kind of a corally pink, orangey pink, or Candy Apple Red. Okay, so.
I know my vote.
Okay, we all know your vote now. Okay, so coral or red. Tell us what you'd like.
Now, is this the ink or is this the plate?
This is ink. So this is our Chalkology ink. Generally, the ink jars have white lids, but don't go by that. Go by what it says. Because of COVID and the supply chain problems,
Yeah.
they were having trouble getting lids in the colors that they needed. That's why some of my pastes have purple lids, because they couldn't get the white lids, they couldn't get the black lids, so they ended up with purple lids because they wanted, okay, she wants candy apple, because they wanted to get the product out and not have you waiting just for the color of a lid. So I actually have some paste with a white lid.
And this being ink, you're going to have to heat set this.
With this ink, I'm going to have to heat set it to make it permanent. Otherwise, it always just kind of stays a little gummy and maybe a little tacky, and it would come off really easily. It would stain, but it would come off pretty easily. Okay, and I haven't used this in a bit, so I'm going to just give it a quick stir, especially since it's out here in the coolish basement. It's not like it freezes down here, but it does get a little cool. So this is our bright red ink, and I'm going to put just a little bit on my squeegee and squeegee it over this. Make sure I'm pushing it into that screen. Easy peasy. Okay, I'm taking off the excess and putting that away. And I'm going to check my fingers, which do have ink on them, so I'm going to clean it off. Not so much on this surface, but if I was making a t-shirt or something with fabric or something with wood, if I got any of the ink on the fabric, it would stain. It wouldn't be permanently set, but it would stain because of the pigment. So I'm making sure I don't have any on my fingers. Dry my fingers. And I'm going to just peel this off. Ooh, and it bled.
Did it bleed in the M?
It bleeded in the in. So I don't like that. So I'm going to clean it off and I'm going to redo it. So I think maybe my transfer wasn't down well enough. So I'm just going to take this, and again, these are reusable surfaces, so they wipe up pretty well. And you can see that ink was not dry. And because of that coating, it doesn't stain. So I've got that.
Christina, this is so exciting.
Oh, yeah, to watch me have a problem, but that's okay. Problems are part of the game, and part of the game is knowing how to fix it. See, so I didn't waste that. I can redo it. I've sprayed this with water. I'm using my paper towel, cleaning off the bulk of that ink. I'm going to get my board eraser. I'm going to get it wet. And I'm just going to get the rest of that ink off the front and off the back. And I think I'm not going to fuzz this one at all, so I can make sure that really, really sticks. Okay, so let me start with a new paper towel. Okay, I'm going to dry this. Ordinarily, I would tell you to air dry these, but I want to use it again right away. So sometimes when it bleeds, it can be that the ink is too thin, in which case you would just leave it out open and it would kind of evaporate a bit, or it wasn't tightly down to your surface, or I pushed too hard. So it could have been any of those. So I will really push this down. So that stickiness is adhering so that nothing can squeak out. And we'll go back to our ink. And I'm not going to push hard at all. And see if that solves our problem. It can also happen if you go in multiple different directions when you're using ink. So if I had gone top to bottom and side to side and up and down, that could have caused it to bleed. But I don't think I did that. Okay, so let's try this again. I threw away my baby wipe. Let me get another one because I'm getting ink everywhere. Okay, fingers clean. Peel this off. Okay, there we go. Love is in the air. Okay, put this down. I don't want that to dry, so I'm going to spray it with water just so it can sit in some moisture. And we're going to let this dry. Before I heat set it, I want it to be dry. Ordinarily, I would tell you to let it dry overnight, because if it's wet and you go to heat set it, just the pressure from the iron can kind of smear it. So I'm going to let it air dry a bit. I'm going to hit it with my dryer before we heat set it. So let's remember, love in the air, love is in the air is ink. So let's do a couple others. Of these, just for funsies. Okay, I like this one. I like the roses in the shape of a heart. So I'm being mindful. This one already has a hole in the top, so I'm being mindful of that, making sure I put it on centered as much as possible. I'm pushing down. Okay. Yes, Cheryl, we're all on pins and needles. I really think it will be okay, but we'll see. Okay, I also like this envelope. Oops, got a string holding it together. I also like the envelope. Okay. And of course, the truck with the hearts. Gotta have the truck. And put that down. Oops, there's a string. Okay, so these we're going to do with paste, which if it's not going to be touched or handled, especially by first graders, the paste will be just fine for you. If it's just going to be like on display on a shelf and maybe somebody gently touches it. If you're going to use it like a keychain, then the paste is probably not going to hold up unless you spray coat it maybe with clear spray paint. That might give it a little protection. Okay, let's see. These roses, I think I'm going to do, we haven't used this color, pomegranate, which is kind of a deep pink. And look, I have not even used this yet. So I'm going to take the little, they come with this little, most of them come, some of them don't come with it. If it doesn't come with one of these seals, don't worry. Some of them don't. And then I'm just going to throw that away because we don't need them. This new formula of paste does not need that extra protection while it's in. And I'm going to give it a stir. I can see it's separated just a little bit. Okay, is that not a pretty rose color?
Yes. Patty asked, what if for the first graders you spray it when Miss Valentine is done?
You know, I think you could. That's an option. I mean, that's something Christina's going to have to decide. If she's concerned that maybe they're going to put it in their mouth, then maybe you wouldn't want to do that. But if you just think it's going to take a little bit of a banging around, then you might even do the ink and some clear coat. Okay, so I'm going to do this all in one color. I could do this I could do the leaves in a different color, but I'm just going to do single color. And I think I'm really going to like this. Again, now this is our paste. This is chalk in paste form. This is our semi-permanent option, which means when it's dry, it will be smudge and budge proof. But if I wanted to take it off, I can moisten it up again and put a little elbow grease to it. And look at
that.
that.
Pomegranate is a shimmer also, is it not?
No, it's not a
Oh,
shimmer.
it's not. Okay.
Nope. Nope. So I'm not ready to clean, so I'm just going to spray that.
Christina says she just wants it to last until we get home.
Oh, there you go. I mean, if you really wanted it to last forever, you could clear coat it with epoxy. But that's probably not what you want to do. Okay. For the envelope, I think I'm going to do pink and red. So I think I'll do the envelope in red and the little outsides in pink. Now this is our Chalkology paste again. It's the same color as our ink, but this is paste. And I'm going to use like a little half of a, and you know what, this is, yeah.
He says that heart is pretty.
I think so too.
Lana thought maybe that pomegranate was shimmer.
It isn't. It isn't. Okay, so this is a little thick. So I just added a little distilled water. We use distilled water so nothing has a chance to grow. There's no minerals or chemicals or even natural substances in it. All of that has been distilled out of it. So I'm going to use raspberry sorbet.
Yes.
Raspberry sorbet, yes.
Yes.
Raspberry sorbet
I
and
like
candy
raspberry
apple.
sorbet. It's not magenta, but it's pretty close to magenta.
Okay. So what did I say I'm going to do? This is going to be the outside story of my life. Not really. You listen pretty well when your hearing aids are tuned to me.
I did hear that.
Exactly.
I was listening to this. I was listening to the replay. Hold on, I'll listen on the replay.
Welcome to my world. Granted, he was being distracted. But he is frequently distracted.
Okay, now I just heard the replay and now I'm laughing at you. I have a wipe setting on my hearing aids.
Yes, he does.
It works.
He likes to turn that setting off. Now this is something, maybe not first graders, at least not a whole group of them, but this is something that kids could do. And the younger they are, the more one-on-one assistance they need. I wouldn't do this with a whole group of first graders, but I might do it one at a time.
I would.
You would, of course you would. You never taught elementary. Okay, so.
Ken sent you, oh, wait a minute. Oh, there you go. Good.
Okay, there we go.
Ken sent you 13 stars.
13, awesome. Is it getting to be the end of the month, Ken? Okay, I don't know if you can see, you can't really tell the colors. The top little doodads are in the raspberry sorbet, and the envelope is in red.
And the term
candy apple. Doodads.
The term doodad is technical?
It's like the floofaroo stuff. Okay. Let's see. What color for the truck? Okay. I'm going to do the hearts in pink and these lines in pink. What color should I do the truck?
Oh, the truck has to be red.
I just put the red away.
the hearts have
No,
to be
you know what? No,
the
there's not enough contrast.
sorbet
There's not enough contrast between the red and the
and then black
pink.
lines.
Okay. No, I have no idea what you just said. Okay. There's not enough contrast between the red and the pink. So what color? I want to do pink on the hearts and the lines. So what color should I do the truck? Any ideas?
Cheryl says pretty, and Linda says hearts. I agree with all those statements.
Okay, should we do black and pink?
Patty says teal.
Teal. Ooh, okay.
That's nice. Here we go.
Whatever.
Alana
Okay,
said
well-
14.
Now I've got you guys are just lowering the bar. Okay, I have couture teal, which is like the same color as
Gold truck.
as that, or I have Tide, which is a darker turquoise. Okay.
What?
So
Wait.
I know so many decisions.
Somebody typed in mini.
Yes, mini. It's part of the part of
okay.
the pinned comment.
I like the blue truck idea too.
Blue
Gold
or
truck. They have gold truck.
okay, gold, teal.
Gold truck.
Teal. Okay, Beverly
Teal.
says teal. Okay, the light teal or the dark turquoise.
Oh, we got 2 votes for teal.
Okay, so I think we're going with teal, but I'm not. Okay, tide. I see
Christina
2
and I are on the
tides.
same wavelength. She said black.
Okay, 2 tides. And that's the great
Tide it
thing.
is.
If it's
We're going with
yours,
tide.
if it's yours, you can do it however you want. Okay, and I haven't used my Tide for a while, so I'm going to stir it up a bit. It's a pretty color.
It's a pretty
It's
color.
pretty.
It is.
It's
a
kind of
very
a
deep hue.
peacock-like color.
Yeah, you know what? It probably would have been a better name for it, to tell you the
There
truth.
you go. Kind of matches my. Okay, so let me find
Going
another
back to
little
the truck
half
camera for a
squeegee.
minute, so we can see your pretty face. There you go.
Okay,
Now I'll go back down and watch.
teal
I keep forgetting to change.
Tide on the truck. And this little squeegee, all it is one of our mini squeegees cut in half. I just took my scissors and cut it in half. It helps to get when it's a smaller little area, it helps to get it in there. Otherwise, if I was trying to use that great big old squeegee, I would have it everywhere. I'd have Tide and the flowers, and it would be a mess. Okay, and I'm going to use raspberry sorbet for the hearts.
No, we don't have peacocks on our farm, but my sister does on
yep.
hers.
Joanne does. She has a whole slew of them.
No, it's what did we
she call
decided
it?
Was
I don't know.
is it a court? No, I can't think what it was. The head
I forget
peacock's
what
name
she-
is King David, and then he's got all the little
All his little hens.
all the
He hens.
What was that? A group of peacocks were named something.
I don't
Somebody
know.
look it up. What's the name of a group of peacocks? My
I don't
sister
know.
told me.
I know what a
completely
group of
forgot.
baboons is called.
A group of baboons is a
Congress. Not making that up.
That's the truth.
Okay. So let's peel this off. and
All right.
See what it looks like.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I did get some of the teal into
Why did you do that?
into the pink. Just because. Call it ombre.
It's
Call
beautiful.
it ombre. Okay, so I've got all of these wet. These are drying. This was my ink. This was my paste.
A muster of peacocks. Thank
Was
you.
it? Okay. And let's...
Remember my sister telling me.
I don't remember her
Now,
saying mustard.
Patty says we are silly.
We are silly.
I hope you're talking about Ken and Alana.
Okay, so I'm going to clean these up real quick, and no difference in cleaning whether it's ink or paste. I start with Honestly, the best way to do it is take it to the sink, but I'm not going to do that and leave you guys. So when I'm cleaning here on camera, I start with spraying it with water. I'm using distilled water, but I don't have to for cleaning it. Only if I'm putting it in the paste do you have to use distilled water. But I'm starting with a paper towel, cleaning this off.
Are you reading that?
And that
Patty
just
says she learned so much.
trivia, nothing but trivia. Someday you're going to be on one of those television shows.
Making $1 million.
And the $1 million question is going to be, what is a group of peacocks? And you're going to know.
It's a muster.
And you're going to pay us a percentage of that $1 million. Okay.
Alana says her and Ken are never silly. They're always deadly serious.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Okay, so now that I've got the initial paste and ink off with a paper towel, now I'm going in with my board eraser. I only do that so I don't get all that paste and muck on my board eraser, and then I have to rinse it, and it kind of extends the life of my board eraser. Okay, this is a product I sell in my shop. It's like a Mr. Clean eraser. You guys have heard this before, but maybe there's somebody new. But there's no chemicals in it because you don't want to use chemicals on these. And they do clean these transfers really well. So I'm going to flip them over because there's probably a small amount of paste or ink on the backside. And I just clean the back. And voila, they are clean. I'm going to let them air dry. I'm going to put them back on the backer sheet when they're dry, shiny side to sticky side, and then they'll be ready to use again. These are reusable over and over. Company guarantees 10 to 12 times if you take care of them appropriately, like I just showed you. And so you could make tons of Valentines with these. Okay.
So let's see some heat now.
Okay.
Bring that heat, woman.
I lost. There it is. I lost one. Okay, so the paste is already dry. Ooh, almost already dry. Yes. Well, I mean, it was upside down and it didn't smear. Okay, but the ink I can still see is tacky because the ink takes longer to dry. So this is dry, but I'm just going to hit it with my heat tool. This is dry, and this is not dry. So I'm going to dry it. Okay, so these would make cute little Valentines. I don't know, Christine, what you're planning to do with them, whether it's just the little thing or if it's going to be attached to something. Okay, so these are pretty much drying on their own. I'm going to get this dry really well. Now, one thing I'm noticing is the ink is a little thinner than the paste. So on this surface, it's kind of feathering. I don't know if you can. Yeah, I don't know if you can see. It's kind of feathering out because the surface is. Okay. Well, it's kind of feathered out. The words aren't crisp and clean. I think because the ink is thinner and the surface is not completely flat. Hi, Cherie, welcome. So we shall see. This is an experiment. So perhaps the ink does not work well on this surface. And then again, it might just be fine. Might just be fine for first graders. So it's possible you might want to go with paste. Oh, you don't have paste. No, you do have paste. You were wanting it to be more permanent. Replace the paper. Yeah, that would be cute. I think that would be. And it's not going to damage their teeth. They're not going to get cavities from it.
It might, depends on how much
So-
you want.
Depending on how it goes when we heat set it, you might want to do paste and then spray a spray sealant over it. That's still a little tacky. Or we shall see. We are still going to try to heat set this. But again, I want this as dry as possible. I would recommend letting it sit out overnight or 24 hours to air dry. So it's not coming up on my finger, but I can still feel it being tacky. That's right, Patty. You don't know till you try. And I'm sure Christine would much rather me try it and fail than her try it and fail. But that's what I'm here for. To try to stay one step ahead of you. That's how I taught for 23 years. Stay one step ahead of the kids.
Sometimes that's harder than you think.
Yep. Teaching a new grade level and learning a new curriculum. Sometimes it was the night before I was learning it myself. Okay, I'm just really giving it some dry time. I think part of it is because it is sitting on top of the surface, not like on a t-shirt where it sinks in, taking a little longer to dry. Yes, definitely leave them out overnight, if not longer. But we'll see. We'll see if it smears. I probably should have made one up ahead of time and let it sit out and let it dry. Okay, I don't want to bore you all with that. It's still slightly tacky, but I think we're good. Let me get rid of these. Put these back on the backer, get them out of my way, and then we will heat set this. This one here. Aren't these cute? I just love these. So somebody already typed in mini. What I did is I put together a bundle or a cart link, and in it was a package of the Chalkable Chips in white, so that's a dozen, and this transfer in case you want to make a whole slew of them. You know, if you want to make a whole dozen or more. So that's all in that cart link. And I also put in our power punch if you want to put holes in them. So if it's something you're interested in, feel free to add things to the cart. I didn't put any paste in there because I don't know what you already have. If you don't want the power punch, you can take it out. If you want an extra package of Chalkable Chips, you know, doesn't that sound like chocolate chips? Now I'm hungry. Okay, so we have that, and I'm going to get my heating mat so I don't toast my. And I'm going to get parchment paper. Parchment paper, not wax paper. Parchment paper so that if the ink smears or it's not quite dry, it's not going to ruin my iron. Now, I'm not going to use my big old heat press for this. I'm just going to use my little mini iron. You can just use a regular household iron. You want to set it, especially because we're not sure of this surface, you want to set it medium to medium high. If you did use a Cricut, you might want it like at 300 degrees because we're not sure about this surface. So, and I'm just going to, it doesn't need pressure, it just really needs heat. So I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to kind of move it slightly around. Actually, the holes are up there, so I think I'm good if I don't move it. We tell you, if you're using a household iron, to keep it moving because of these holes where the steam comes out. You don't want this set on steam, but if you hold it in place where those holes are, it can leave some indentations. But the moment of truth is coming. Yes, you shall see. Need some background music. Well, yeah, I do, but we have to be careful because Facebook doesn't like us using just any music. Bill could sing for you.
I normally do.
He's always got music going on in his head, I'm sure. Okay, so with my Cricut heat press, I normally do this for like 30 seconds. Household iron, they tell you maybe 3 to 4 minutes. So that's been a minute, I think. So I'm going to lift it up, and it's going to be hot, so I'm not going to touch it just yet.
Good choice.
But I am not seeing it bleed any more than it already was kind of feathering. And that is toasty. And once it cools off, I'm gonna touch it, and if it's still tacky, then it needs more heat setting.
Did it blister the laminate?
It has not. The laminate
Did it change the color of the
it
hue?
has not.
Still just as shiny?
It's still just as shiny. It's still just as white. And it's still hot. Okay. And I can still feel it's tacky. So it is not quite heat set yet. So I'm going to put the iron back on for maybe another minute.
It's your mother's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Mom.
Couple verses of Amazing Grace. Was that her favorite song? Okay. So I'm really I'm not putting any pressure on it. I'm just letting it sit here. Now, another thing I'm concerned about is this surface is kind of not smooth, but
Texture?
it's textured, and it's kind of I'm worried that even if she's singing it with the angels, I guess. I'm concerned that even if it's heat set ink, it will still scratch off, but maybe not as easily as the paste would. Okay, so I'm giving this another minute. Oh, 15, that's a hard age to be without a mom. I'm sorry. How old was my mom? She was 92. So that means I was 52. So
we went through a few years there of losing parents.
yeah, that was quite a few years of one after the other. Oh, 2 years earlier. Wow. So who did you live with? Did you have family that you went to live with? Or were you on your own at 15? Okay, hot. You've been on your own at 15. Oh my. Well, good for you. That's something my mom would have been able to do. She'd have been able to be on her own. Well, I'll kind of let you know how easy it is to scratch off. Yeah, it's still hot. I'm not blistering, but yeah, it's hot. Still a little tacky.
She went
So I'm going to go.
got emancipated. I actually helped with a young lady in my class do that.
Okay, why the iron and not the heat gun? We only want it to be like 300, 350 degrees, and that heat gun gets screaming hot. Like, how hot does it get? 500, 800 degrees? So if you want a crispy critter, you can use the heat gun.
The heat gun would blister the laminate.
Yeah. Now, if you're not talking about this heat gun, this doesn't get nearly hot enough. The heat gun, the mega heat gun, gets way too hot. So this is like a happy medium. Okay. So while we're letting that cool off, let's decorate some of these. Okay, so this one already has a hole in it. I'm going to poke a hole in this one. Now, you would think that this is the top, and it might well be, but it's hard to see. Where it puts the hole is way back here, like almost an inch back.
Show us again.
So,
I got it over the top this time.
so like let me depress it. Okay, so right there is where it. So that's a big area you can't see. So I turn it upside down, and when I turn it upside down, I can see exactly where that hole is going to go. So that's my little tip for the day. And punch this through. And that little thing comes out, and this amazing little thing just cut through, what is that, an eighth of an inch? Eighth of an inch, maybe? Okay. You can also use, before we came out with this, I used my crocodile, which is this puppy, which is a lot more expensive than this, but it does the same thing. It's like a heavy-duty hole punch that will punch through wood.
Thanks, Kim.
Okay, so let's decorate these up. How's that doing? Okay, still slightly tacky. And you know what? It does still warm, but I can kind of scrape it off with my fingernail. So I'm thinking they'd probably get home. Let me say that much. So we tried this. I think just the nature of this surface, it doesn't bond because this show what?
Just how much did it take to?
Well, not much. I mean, I'm trying not to take off anything important. I'm just trying to take off where it feathered. But it does kind of scrape off. But I kind of have to push at it to do it. But it does scrape off a bit. So it might not be permanent enough for your needs.
It might be too.
It doesn't scrape off as easily as, well, that doesn't really scrape off. So I don't know what to tell you, Christine. It works. The Chalkable chip holds up to the heat. I just don't know that the surface itself creates a good enough bond to the ink when it is set to do what you want it to do. You could always, though, if you wanted to do something with wood, not the Chalkable chips, but just the wood, you could definitely, if you painted these up, you could definitely use ink and heat set it on that. So, but it works, but I don't know if it works well enough for what you were wanting.
She said thank you.
Oh, you are welcome. I wish I had a better answer. Punch a hole in that one. And again, you could always put magnets on the back of these. So I've got a whole, I'm going to turn off this oven, this iron. I've got a whole bag, a whole box of goodies. So I have some beads that we can use. I have some ribbon that we could use. I think I like that ribbon. And you know what? I'm just going to I'm going to do this one. I'm not going to make you all watch this, but some ways that we can dress this up. Wood it will be. Okay. Or you could go the route of spraying with clear spray paint. Okay, so I've got some ribbon, and I'm going to cut some of this off. And feed it through that hole. You know what? Okay, some other thing. Let me show you some other things I found. Okay, these are at Dollar Tree. These are little wooden hearts. Maybe Bill will put it on the overhead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So these are some little wooden hearts. So these are kind of tall and skinny ones. There's 24 pieces. They're that thin wood. And here's some, again, red and pink and wood colored. And these are more fatter hearts. Fatter. So I could take one of those. Let's see. I'm going to use one of these. I know. I'm going to put one on the back. Is it a big red one? I'll use the pink. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to. Okay. So I'm going to attach this to the back and just kind of let it hang. So I'm going to punch a hole right there. Okay. So it can kind of hang there. That will look cute. To push that in there. So I could have chalked on the back also. So that on there. I'm going to take a couple of beads. Let's take a couple of red, couple of white. Let's see. Let's do an extra red one. Okay. Now I'm going to push that through. You know what? It needs a needle. So I'm going to take a little piece of tape and I'm going to tape up these ends tight like a shoelace so that I can thread them through that needle. Thread them through that bead. So I just took some tape and made like a little needle. So it feeds through there. Let's do red, and white, and red. Should we just stop at 3?
I like it at 3.
Okay, so let's stop at 3. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie this off up at the top. And trim that. Cute, cute, cute. What do you think? Nice little hanging Valentine. And these little things you could take a Sharpie and write somebody's name on it.
Hang it on your Valentine tree.
You could hang it on your Valentine tree, or when Joanne is on, she will have earrings, which actually that's kind of cute. Maybe not with the ribbon. Okay, so lots of things you could do. And I've also got some of the, I don't think I'm going to put these on, but Dollar Tree, they have these jewel border stickers. So they're just little cheap plasticky, but they're sparkly. So it kind of has like a pearl surrounded by some rhinestones. And these, same thing, but a little smaller, and they're adhesive. So I could kind of stick some of those on there, give it a little bit of bling. So some ideas for you. Who could you give these to? If you have grandchildren or children that need to give out Valentines at school, just like Christine's going to do, this would be really cute. If you give out Valentine gifts to coworkers or neighbors or service people that you're around, that would be cute. A cute little thing. It could be attached to a gift bag or a gift package, or itself could be a gift. You could attach it to a gift card. Okay, doing that on wood for the kids. Love the name on the back with the heart. Yes, I don't know if you're near a Dollar Tree, but you might want to check them out. These are already painted little wood hearts. So there we go. You're pondering your next victory. Alana, who was that cartoon character that is trying to take over the world?
Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain. Are you being like Pinky and the Brain, trying to take over the world?
Yes.
I don't know who it was, whether it was Pinky or the Brain.
It was the Brain.
The Brain, okay. I didn't watch. It was just on. It was just on to entertain my kids, to babysit my children, so I could get stuff done. Although not.
It entertained all three of your children.
All three of them. Okay, so this is the inked one. And, well, yeah, it does kind of scrape off. But you kind of have to put a little effort. But now we know. These do stand up to heat. They just don't really adhere the ink as well as desired, I think. Okay. I think that's it for tonight. If you haven't already signed up to join our email list, please do that. You can type in the word email and it'll send you to a form where you can fill it out and provide us your email address, and we'll start working on some newsletters to send out. I got another club member, so we are at 8. I can't remember.
No.
I don't know.
You
I don't
handle
know.
that.
Anyway, we're that much closer to getting my goal of 10 club members. So that was great. I'm speechless over the creative things I've learned. Well,
Ken wants to know if you're going to have a bingo very soon.
I need to. We need to do bingo. Okay, so I will put that on my to-do list to schedule bingo.
Yeah, I'm looking out for you, Ken.
Okay. And again, if you're interested in the transfer with the 14 different little designs all on one sheet, and the Chalkable Chips, if you want the link to that, type mini in the comments and you'll get a link to my shop. And feel free to add or subtract from the cart, or just take a look and see what prices are, browse the shop. And I think that's 12. What am I not thinking? 12. 12. Did I not say 12?
12.
Did I not say 12? I don't know. It's getting late, and I still have to make macaroni and cheese for tomorrow. Okay, so we will
Wait, you have to make what?
I have to make macaroni and cheese.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
We have a teachers meeting tomorrow.
Sunday school teachers meeting. Okay. So, I think that's it. We will be back on tomorrow night. Not sure what we're doing. Oh, I said 14. Why did I say 14? I'm losing it. Okay, yes, 12. 12. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay. So we'll be back on. We'll have a fun craft, and we'll chat, and we'll make fun of Alana and Ken and all that good stuff. And we'll do some new things for Christine. Okay, so thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you tomorrow, and I'm going to pose. Good night, everybody. Good.